Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan says, if Bitcoin does matter globally, it will be a 10 to 50 trillion dollar asset, implying a 5x to 25x return from the current prices. He also adds that the US Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is a huge step forward and the short term weakness is a gift in his latest weekly memo. Very, very interesting things. We're going to kind of touch base a little bit more onto this and how this could potentially, you know, have a positive impact on XRP. But welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Appreciate you guys as always, for tuning in on a regular day-to-day basis. If you have not subscribed, guys, what have you guys been waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and come join the Crypto ZX army. But anyhow, if you're looking across the board, Tuesday was, of course, a great day. A lot of green. But again, if you did watch my market analysis update, I'm not overly excited just yet because I'm thinking from a realistic standpoint. There are other factors we need to keep in mind before we get overly excited. But of course, XRP up 2.7%. It was a big day. Some big news. Of course, we're going to talk about that. The price of XRP pretty much hovering around where it was yesterday. Again, I will pull out the charts at the end of the update, but $2.17, up 1.2% in Bitcoin comparative, market cap at 126 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $5.5 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So the news of the day. The news of the day, Franklin Templeton, $1.4 trillion asset managers files for a S1 XRP ETF. Remember what I've been saying. We're missing these big asset managers. They are coming. They know what's happening. They are coming. And this is a perfect example. Franklin Templeton, a $1.4 trillion in assets, it manages, has filed for an XRP ETF. The big names are coming. The flip the switch event is really taking place. I know, people look at the prices for the short-term perspective, what's going to happen to the price next day, what's going to happen to the price in the next week, what's going to happen to the price in the next 6 months. But only a few are understanding, where potentially a project like XRP could be going with the likes of, the lawsuit coming to an end potentially, in the near future, ETFs being approved, regulatory clarity coming towards the industry. And of course, remember, real working product, and it just revolutionizes the way blockchain technology is to be seen within the global standard for enterprises. And this is where Ripple and XRPL ledger really steps in. And I think people are not understanding. And going back to what I said earlier, this right here, how would this have an impact on XRP? Right now, currently, XRP is ranked as the top 4th asset in the crypto markets. And, XRP has shown its credibility over the past, decade plus. So it's still here. We've seen, and again, shout out to the OGs, we've seen hundreds of coins, that have entered in the top 100 and, just failed. But XRP is still here. And, with a project that has gone through so much, usually there's a lot of projects that, that once they kind of get a little bit of, pressure coming towards them, most of them do stall. And I don't want to really name a few, but I'm sure if you've been in this space for quite some time, you know that. And then, you're still here, XRP, doing what they've said they would from the beginning, focusing on the vision, innovating no matter how much pressure they encountered, and here they are, they're still here. And now you're seeing a complete different shift happening for the crypto markets. And I think projects like XRP are going to be at the forefront. And if Bitcoin, it tends to go towards that crazy valuation, as Matt Hogan said, but with the institutional government adoption, Bitcoin US strategic reserve being announced, and potentially now leading other countries to do something similar to this. Of course, this is going to make Bitcoin demand go through the roof. And speaking about Bitcoin demand go through the roof, it's already there. It's already there. You're seeing the demand outweighing the amount of Bitcoins that are being, even mined. So that really tells you. And after obviously every halvening, it gets harder and harder to mine Bitcoin. And with the demand that we're seeing right now, all these things, these crazy price predictions, which a lot of people might think these are some crazy price predictions, but going back to a few years ago, no one really thought these assets, including XRP, would be sitting at these valuations. So I always want you guys to look at it from this perspective. Obviously, this is where your risk management comes into play. At the end of the day, time is the only major factor that we need to consider, because of course time will tell. And there's always a risk associated to it, and that's where your due diligence and research comes into play. But yeah, let's take it one step at a time. But look at this: all eyes are on CPI inflation. Tomorrow marks the second CPI inflation data point of 2025. Prediction markets see headline inflation falling from 3% in the beginning of January to 2.9 in Feb. Core CPI inflation is expected to fall from 3.3 to 3.2. If both metrics of inflation fall tomorrow, it will mark the first such occurrence since July, so last summer of 2024. Markets have high hopes for inflation. So, of course, if you do see a fall, this again, will be exciting for a lot of coin. You might see the market. I think the market might already be reacting to this. But a lot of people are going to be talking about whether or not we're going to see a rate cut because of this specific thing. I still think, we don't really want to be getting overly excited, because even though it is projected to fall, and if it intends to, it's not major. And I don't think Jerome Powell is going to come and cut the rates based off of what we've been hearing from him in the last meetings. But yeah, the FOMC meeting, we'll see what happens, of course. But yeah, let's see what happens. You can see this for yourself. With this specific announcement, Brad Garlinghouse, did this side eye emoji, really, understanding, how big of a deal this really is, and it goes unsaid. This right here is revolutionary, and we're missing the likes of BlackRock. And believe it or not, I personally think they're already well aware as to what's happening. And at the end of the day, all these firms, they're competitors to one another. So, all of them are going to file, I think, and I do believe, based off of, the major developments that we're hearing, I think it's just a matter of time where we do see BlackRock coming as well and filing for an ETF, because, things are looking very exciting, and I'm sure they would want to take a share of the pie. But yeah, let's take a look at this. RWA, so real world assets tokenization, is accelerating, and the XRPL is at the center of driving institutional adoption. RWA XYZ now provides real-time insight into XRPL network performance, tokenized treasuries, commodities, and stablecoins like RLUSD. See the latest trends in tokenization and explore institutional growth on the XRPL. Very interesting as always. But now let's take a look at what's happening with the price. So dominance is sitting at levels we haven't seen since the beginning of February. And I mentioned this in some of my other updates. So again, as far as the strength is concerned for the dominance, there's no doubts in that. You can see this for yourself. It's showing a lot of strength. So if you're an altcoin holder, not a time to be getting overly excited just yet. Let's give Bitcoin a little bit of a refresh live. BTC is currently sitting at $81,739. We actually did make our way up to the 38.2, got rejected. Obviously sitting back at around 81.7. Obviously nowhere near where I would like to see the price of Bitcoin at. And I still do believe that the price of Bitcoin could fall down to the likes of that 76K mark, or potentially even retesting the 73.5 before we start heading towards the upside, because we need to face it. Market has tumbled down towards the downside quite a bit. So, a little bit of a bounce is to be expected. But again, CPI numbers are also something that we kind of want to be keeping an eye out on. That might actually have a positive impact on the market. But if you're looking at XRP's price here, guys, you can see this for yourself. Let's actually take a look at it on the hourly time frame. So you can see this for yourself. The price of XRP is pretty much still hovering in the 38.2 fib zone. We actually made our way up to the 225 earlier. Obviously, as we did hear about the ETF filing, but we did obviously got stopped out. Obviously major amounts of resistance at that range, and of course BTC did see also a little bit of a retracement, but in the 38.2 looking really good, to be quite frank with you. We are consolidating within the 38.2, and that is totally okay. I don't care if it does this for the next 3-4 months. I know I don't personally think it's going to take that long. It's going to make up its decision, and as of now it has made up its decision to head towards the downside. But what's really impressive is that this support has really been playing out for us. We still have not seen, with the amount of volatility that we're seeing within the crypto space, you still have not seen the price of XRP falling below this key support line, and that speaks for itself. So let me know down below what you guys think. Love each and every one of you guys. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button. Comment down below ETF if you've watched it till the end. Love you all. See you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.